The New York Knicks are everything that you have craved for. Every time you call a host, whether it's Mike and Chris or Schmooze or Paige or anybody, whomever, overnights, you have talked. Basically, the essence of your call is this. You demand toughness. You demand intelligence. You demand championship viability. You demand unselfishness. These New York Knicks are a gift from the gods. They really are. I mean, the most enjoyable journey that I believe that you could have as a sports fan is when it's a little unexpected and there's an element of overachievement. And then you get this incremental buzz, and all of a sudden you look up and they are the top dog and the city is ablaze. Now, I told you about 10 days ago that the Knicks, well, I was after the Denver Nuggets game, the Knicks officially transformed into must-watch. And they are. A couple days after that, Sal, I said the New York Knicks are officially the best-run franchise in our city. They embody, honestly, everything that we demand, everything that has been so elusive for so many years from the Jets and most of the last 20 years, the Giants, the Mets too often. The New York Knicks now officially run the city.
They have a superstar. I mean, if you're not paying attention, look, I don't know what to tell you. He's a superstar. I don't worry about this 1A, 1B. He's it. Jaylen Brunson is it. And they're doing it as a team. And, BT, the path is there to an NBA Finals, to a championship. We talked months ago about not putting a ceiling on this team, talked about how legit they could be with Randall being a number 2 or Brunson being the number 1 on this team. Dude, the path is there. Yeah, the Celtics are great. Okay, but they have 2 All-Stars too. Well, guess what? So do the Knicks. Yeah, the Bucks are very good, and they have 2 All-Stars and top players, but they have Doc Rivers, who always chokes it away in the postseason in recent years. Joel Embiid got hurt. I'm not worried about the 76ers. The Cavs, please. It's there. There is a path for this Knicks team led by a true superstar in Brunson to win an NBA championship.
I agree. And I know that everybody's understandably wrapped up in the trade deadline. What will they do? Well, and again, we'll have time to get into the I guess the minutia and what they might possibly do. Let me just lay it out in very, very blunt terms. No matter what they do, it's going to work because Leon Rose is the best executive suddenly in the city,
which is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what this guy's done. And the best part about this team,
they've been bad for so long, and they're finally legit.
It's borderline stunning.
Right.
I was watching. I mean, I watch every game, and Jen's a sports fan, more football. She's like, the Knicks are really good all of a sudden. I'm like, yeah, they are really good.
And it's funny you said even my wife was into the game last night.
She was.
Watching Brunson, going nuts over him. This is how you know.
Yes.
Man, my wife doesn't really, she'll watch a little bit, but
yeah,
she was into it last night.
Well, finally, your husband doesn't have to, yell about a lack of a DH. He can yell for, in a glorious tone about Jaylen Brunson, who right behind Aaron Judge is suddenly the biggest superstar in this city. Now, this team, okay, there's a lot to unpack here moving forward, but I also want to say this now, why I think their DNA it's rooted and it's taken root, I should say, and it's strong. Like, it's not, well, they've won 9 straight and suddenly, even without Randall, they're going to lose 5 out of 6 and fall apart. The New York Knicks have what so many NBA teams do not have. The Knicks have integrity. The Knicks are connected as a unit. They genuinely love each other. Just listen to them in the locker room or on the court after a game. They're boys, legitimately boys. And they've got a professional integrity and purpose that is so often missing in the NBA. Yes, the New York Knicks can get to the championship this year. Yes, the New York Knicks can win the championship this year. And I was going to even save this for later. I really was. 877-337-6666. I feel so strongly about, now it's not a bold prediction that they will win. I want to be clear.
Right.
I think that they can, and I know they're on the short list to get there. You're starting, and if you haven't heard it yet, you're going to hear it today. You probably already did. There is a palpable buzz now with the guy who was on the West Coast, who is behind Jordan, second best player of all time, who might want out. And they might be amenable to trading him. That is LeBron and the Lakers. Let me tell everybody right now. LeBron James can take a hike. I don't want LeBron. I love this team. Now, I'm not saying you can't get somebody coming off the bench and a backup point guard, whatever. We'll have that discussion next week. LeBron James, now part of this is emotionally driven, but it's also, I think rooted in reality. First of all, I'm not messing with this chemistry. I am not messing with this Knicks chemistry. Number one. The emotional part is he didn't want us all those years. He played us year after year. He had a chance to come to the Garden and save us from the slow death that the Knicks continuously put us through, all the pathetic regimes and failed draft picks and awful contracts. And he said, and he really did play us. He took us for the ride. Oh, yeah, maybe. No, you didn't want us then. We don't need you now. We don't want you now. I swear to God, I am 1,000% serious. I do not want LeBron James on this team. Don't want him.
I respect that. I understand it. I am somebody who in 2010, when everybody in this city was fawning over the idea of LeBron James, I said, no, I don't want that. I want to beat LeBron on the way to a championship. However, it's LeBron, bro. Like, do they need him to win a title? No, I don't think that they do. But you're telling me if you could add LeBron James to this group right now, I know it's Brunson's team, and I don't think that's going to change. You're telling me if you had a chance to get LeBron James?
I don't want him. I don't. Now, I will grant you
Dude.
this. It increases their odds to win the championship. No, I'm not stupid. I might be a little nuts with certain things.
Right.
He makes them a better basketball team, depending upon what you have to give up, and he gives you a clear path to the NBA championship. I'm not here to dispute that. That's common sense. Here's why I don't want him. All right, now, I don't want him because he didn't want us. And when you don't want me when I'm down,
Agreed.
I don't want you when I'm up.
Agreed.
All right? Okay, all right. So,
but I do want the championship.
Well, I do. But I don't want the championship to make me beholden to LeBron James. I would rather lose in the NBA Finals than win with him.
Wow.
So, slipping in the side door and soaking up all the adulation. LeBron James had nothing to do with the renaissance and the resurrection of this team. Stay out there with Anthony Davis and battle for the 9th seed and avoid the play-in if you can. We don't want you and we don't need you. And I honestly, I swear to God, I mean that.
Yeah, I respect it. I mean, I'd have to really think about it if the opportunity were there. However, I don't think that they need, and I think this is saying more than anything else, I don't think the Knicks need LeBron James to win an NBA title. They could do it with Jaylen Brunson leading the way. But if the opportunity was there and LeBron said, I want to come to New York, as scorned lovers as we may have been, BT,
click.
I don't know.
No, you could have him. You could have him.
Know.
You could have him. 877-337-6666. BT and Sound on the Fan. I mean, this next team is just absolutely awesome. They are smart. They are tough. They're just everything about them. They're down 15.
They play hard.
Oh, that's the thing. That is non-negotiable. They come out of that locker room and they are locked in and lasered on every single quarter and everything that they do. They had every reason to say, we're down by 15 last night, which they were.
Even I did as a fan. Basically saying, oh, you know what? All right, it happens. No Anunoby.
Yep.
No Randall. You know, they have really no secondary option with Brunson, who's just, they're grinding him into the ground here.
Yeah, and they're taking the ball out of his hand. That was obviously Indiana's game plan there.
All right, Pacers are a good team.
Very good.
It happens. And they come back and win the game.
Sal, I was beginning to process inwardly. I was doing something on Mets Twitter thing, which I'll tell you about later. It was a lot of fun. But I'm in the middle of that. I'm recording the game. I'm following. And then obviously I dove into the game once I was on about 90 minutes with the Mets guys. And they said hi, by the way. Although there's brought up some Alonso stuff that we do have to get to later. Yeah. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, you know what? I start to, emotionally hedge. Well, they're playing so well, and Randall's hurt, and maybe they're looking past us a little. LeBron's coming in Saturday night, ABC. No way. This team's down 15. The referees were absolutely atrocious last night. Jaylen Brunson gets poked in the eye, and not only does he go down, but he loses the ball, and the Pacers score a basket, because I thought he was really hurt.
He got smacked in the face.
Right in the eye. It was boom.
They said that he was poked at first, and I'm like, let me see the replay here. He got smacked in the face to a point where his eye was swelling. Immediately, these refs have their head so far up their ass. You can't tell that the guy's got hit. Seriously, and he went down. What do you think? He's flopping? I mean, it's ridiculous.
And what do? They grind, they chip, and they reward us. And there is no more along with the Mets and the Jets a little bit, but
the Knicks,
no more deserving fan base. The Knicks fans rock, and I'm so happy for us.
One last thing, BT, before we get to the calls here. I was thinking about this, and I did that podcast. I did the WFAN Daily podcast, and I was talking about the Knicks after the game last night. And you know how I feel about the 90s Knicks. Like, anybody asks me, and they say, oh, you're a Knicks fan? I'm a 90s Knicks fan. I think this team is better. The league is evolved.
The league's so different.
The league is evolved. It is different. But think about the way that they play together as a group. Think about the role players and do what they're doing. And then think about the star power. Knicks didn't have 2 All-Stars, like regular All-Stars.
I think they had the one year where obviously Pat, Oakley, and Starks made it. And that was pretty much it.
But Oakley and Starks, as much as I love them, they weren't All-Stars.
I agree.
Randall's been an All-Star 3 out of 4 years, and Brunson should have been one last year. He is now, and he's going to be assuming health moving forward. Like, even the 90s Knicks, who I love, they didn't have this type of talent.
They did not have this. You're absolutely right. 877-337-6666, BT and Sal. We're inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Kenny in Brooklyn, what's happening? Kenny, how are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Good.
What's up, Ken?
Nice to be first. I got a quick point. First of all, I'm a Celtic fan. I've called you a couple times, and I'm a Bostonian, but I live in New York, and But I think no one's quite clear on exactly what the spirit of the MVP means. But from what I believe it means, and it obviously would never happen, but I don't think anybody but Jaylen Brunson should be the MVP of this league. I think this guy is the most important player on his team. And in fact, I just wanted to add on, if you guys were offered Doncic for Brunson, I bet you'd say, hell no.
Not a chance in hell. What do I want Doncic, who's basically overweight and a chucker? No, we got our guy, Doncic. Doncic could take a hike.
I'm not trading Brunson for anybody. And I know that there are more
I wouldn't trade him for Giannis right now.
Right.
He's ours, man.
Agreed. I know there are more talented players in the league. I'm not trading him for anybody because I think it's the perfect fit. He is a superstar.
Yep.
And in this town, it's just the perfect fit. His father was a Knick. Obviously, you know all about that. The way that he had to work to be where he's at, still being dismissed because of his size. I'm not trading Brunson for anybody. He's the one. You talked about Melo and Amari and the guys that maybe could have been here, Kyrie, KD. He is him. Brunson is the one that came here and has taken the Knicks to greater heights than maybe they've ever seen before. I know they got to get to a finals and win it, but think about how long it's been since that was the case, and even then they weren't good enough. He may be the guy to get them over the hump.
I fully believe that he's going to be.
Right?
I close my eyes and I see Jaylen Brunson, dancing and yo-yoing and with that sublime footwork that's like ballerina-like. Those little floaters. I see him doing that in the fourth quarter, Game 6, eventually Game 7, NBA Finals, Eastern Conference Finals, sticking a dagger 3. It's coming. Like Jaylen Brunson, this cat is just, he is different.
Can I tell you something? So he mentioned the MVP, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Because I had a friend text me
the
last
odds?
night. Yeah, did you look at it?
I have not.
Okay,
so let's play the game a little bit here.
Friend texted me last night after the game, said, I just bet Brunson to win the MVP. I said, great bet. What are the odds?
Plus 700 is my guess.
It was 100 to 1.
Okay.
I don't know what plus 700 is.
I always work more than that.
Right. 100 to 1. Dude.
100 to 1. I mean,
I don't know how that would equate to.
Do you have the other ones?
So that's, 100 to 1 is plus 1,000?
Yep.
Right, so even longer.
Yeah, I said
right.
plus
That
7.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Pat.
no, I got you. So I was short. Wow.
Think about that. Right now, after that game, 100 to 1?
Well, Embiid's hurt, and who knows how long he's out. Giannis.
But by definition, you take Brunson off the Knicks, they're crap.
I'm so happy you say that because to me, you look at and our last caller really alluded to this. He talked about the MVP and what the award should really represent. Now, it's morphed into something totally different. Usually the guy with the best stats on the best team, the quarterback in the NFL, the stud NBA, win 63 games, average 30, boom, MVP. To me, I have not relinquished what I believe the MVP should always represent, which is why Jaylen Brunson will absolutely finish top 3, if not win it this year if this keeps up. He's got a chance to win it. Because the way I look is a very simple equation. If you delete player X from situation Y, what is the definable drop in performance?
Right.
Like, what is the negative impact there? And you cannot find a player in the NBA that impacts his team winning more than Brunson. He is the man. 877-337-6666. Danny Butler, New Jersey. What's going on, Danny?
Hey, Sal, BT. Love your show. Love you two guys. Our first time talking to you. I used to call you and Tiki a few times back in the day.
Nice.
BT, but like I say, you guys are just perfect for each other. Two real fans, two maniacs. I couldn't ask for a better show. Listen,
thanks, dude.
Orange and blue skies today. We have ourselves a legit team. We have ourselves a legit star since Patrick Ewing. Definitely better, in my opinion. There's no I don't think there's any ceiling you could put on this team. This team, they're like, what team in the East can this team not beat?
The path is there, Danny. The Celtics are good. By the way, I'm not minimizing the Bucks or the Celtics. Obviously, we know that they're good, but the Bucks are so desperate. They fired their coach. They went to Doc Rivers, a guy who's in recent years choked away every postseason that he's been in with multiple teams. Embiid is hurt again. Oh, surprise! And the Sixers, even if he's healthy, they're the semi-Sixers. They can't get past the semi. So now you're telling me the Knicks can't beat the Celtics? I'm not saying they will. The Knicks could beat any team right now in the East. The way the Knicks are playing, or any team in the league.
I agree. Yep.
They play together. They play tough. They have a superstar. They have a second all-star on the team. They have role players that do their job. It's all there. Now they have to go do it in the postseason.
I think, listen, they can do it. Listen, last year was nice. You know, they weren't just ready yet. They ran into a more experienced team, and I think that experience is definitely gonna pay off. But I think, listen, man, yesterday they had every excuse to let that game go. They were undermanned. You know, the Pacers are just a high-powered team. They held them to 105 points, and they, like I said, this team just grinds and grinds. They just keep coming at you, and you gotta love. You know, everybody was down on Tibbs, but listen, man, he's done a tremendous job. On another point, listen.
Turning point for this franchise, by the way,
go ahead.
Was it last season, early on in the season, and they were struggling, and there was talk about maybe Tibbs being on the hot seat?
A little bit, yeah.
And remember, they kept him, and then they went on a run, and they've never really looked back. But the old Knicks, Jim Dolan getting involved, maybe saying, hey, this is not going to work, because it really felt like they were going to fire Tibbs or maybe make a change, and they didn't. And look what's happened now.
Hey, Sal, listen. I know you were gone for a couple of days. I just hope I said a couple of prayers for you. I hope everything's okay right now.
We appreciate that.
On another, just get like, guys, let me make one more thing. You know, I love when you guys always bring up your old WWF stuff. I know you guys so supposedly got to dress up as gold.
Not supposedly. We are.
All right, I can't wait to see that. But Sal, for you, I know both of you guys grew up big wrestling fans, and I know definitely you grew up with those, collecting the LJN figures. Listen, I have a collector's book of the history of the LJNs on page 269.
Oh, yeah, I'm in there.
Yeah, a young Sal Licata holding up a Jesse the Body and Brutus the Barb. I was like, I saw that. I was like, yo, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you,
Danny. Thanks. But how old were you at this point?
Well, the book came out a couple of years ago, and I was in the height of my collecting. And
it's not young Sal. It's adult Sal.
The pictures are young Sal with the young.
Wow.
But one of the guys writing the book was like, hey, do you have any pictures that we could use or whatever? So we use that. Yeah.
All right, there you go. That's a good call, and nicely done there, Danny. 877-337-6666. You know, I said to Sal before the show, I'm like, is the sun ever coming out? I know it's a little wet out there, and a little over it. Not cold, which is nice. So you can maybe put those windows down a little bit, let everybody know what time it is. Not Ben Simmons time.
Oh, God.
Nick time. That's right. Every time we win, we blasted first segment. Every single time, the Knicks are back, and everybody else right now in the city's playing second fiddle, including the Yankees, who we'll get to later.
Yankees. I can't wait to get to that.
Listen, Cashman's evidently still in hibernation of the cave with the rest of the Bears. It's okay to come out and awake from your slumber there, Mr. General Manager, while, I don't know, a team in your division just got somebody last night that you could really use. We'll get to the Cashman stuff. Knicks fans. God, do we deserve this, boy. And it's not the best part about this. It's not manufactured. It's not, the Knicks have won 3 in a row and we're just trying to, get a little enthusiastic. This team is the real deal. They can win the championship. This team can deliver it. Don't know if they will, but there's nobody who knows anything about basketball that can say that they can't.